My name is Jamie Holmes. I've been involved in financial services now for over 30 years. For the most part involved in stockbroking, looking after the investments of private individuals, in addition to providing share dealing services to participants of employee share option schemes. My interest in the foreign exchange markets came about as a result of discovering how in the FX world pricing still hasn't become that competitive. Investment markets have been subject to an abundance of regulation in the last 10 years, which has led to price competition and price pressure. But this hadn't happened in FX, predominantly because the FX markets are dominated by the banks, who are very good at hiding their charges, and there is no compulsion from a regulatory point of view for them to disclose what those charges are. So out of this environment, the idea to set up CurrencyWave was born. So our proposition is a simple one. We have a foreign exchange platform that helps small and medium-sized businesses as well as individuals who want to send or receive foreign currency payments overseas. We do this by giving them a transparent and cost-effective access to the foreign exchange markets, unlike the existing services currently provided by the banks. So the banks have too much power and control over financial services. This has been realised by HM Treasury and the regulator, the FCA, in the last few years, more particularly since the banking crisis 10 years ago. So they've actively encouraged technology companies to come into financial services in order to create more competition and to bring pricing down for consumers. So the foreign exchange markets are huge. Trillions of dollars traded in FX globally on a daily basis. A large proportion of those transactions are done for speculative purposes, and the remainder for what we call deliverable FX, so where a conversion takes place in order to send money from person A to person B. The way that the market works, and let's not forget this is largely made up of the banks and other big financial institutions trading directly with each other, they'll trade at very keen exchange rates. So in other words, exchange rates where the rate to sell and the rate to buy have a very, very narrow margin between them. For anybody else that wants to convert currency, they would have to approach a bank or an FX broker who will go into that market and buy the currency on behalf of that customer. They make their money by adding a markup to what we call the interbank rate. And it's that markup that can vary considerably from one bank to another bank, from one bank to an FX broker, from one size of customer to another. So if you're a very large multinational corporation, for instance, you'll get very keen exchange rates. But as you go and filter down to companies that are, say, SME sized, it's unlikely you're going to get those same exchange rates. So in order to ensure that you optimize your foreign currency payments, it's important to be able to understand exactly how much you're being charged and what the alternatives are in order to reduce that charge and improve your profit margins. For SME-sized companies, foreign exchange is expensive. Most companies will go to their bank, let's say if they have to pay an overseas supplier of materials that they import, but not realizing perhaps that the banks are that expensive. Banks can charge anywhere between 2.5% and 5% on the amount converted, and these charges aren't openly displayed, they're hidden within uncompetitive exchange rates. The main challenge, of course, is being able to shop around. There isn't a great deal of transparency in the FX market, and particularly if you're looking at banks and trying to compare one to another, they're not very good at telling you what their exchange rates are in real time. Also, the whole customer experience isn't a great one. You often won't know what exchange rate you've got until the deal has been transacted and the money has been sent. And also it's difficult to ascertain where you are in the transaction process. So from conversion to sending the money overseas, there's usually a very poor tracking information going on in the bank system. So companies like ourselves will provide those customers with a much more transparent and fair pricing system, so you can see at any given time where your transaction is at, what you're being charged, what exchange rates you're achieving, and provide a much better overall customer experience than you get, say, by using one of the banks.